Now, similarly, homeless, traumatized, and in some cases feeling abandoned by the authorities, many survivors of Morocco's powerful earthquake escaped death only to fear they are now on their own to stay alive. The deadly quake has put a heavy burden on the North African kingdom's emergency resources, and some stranded in shattered communities were angry and shocked over what they say is a lack of a major influx of aid. Residents of the village of under 100 people say bodies of the 16 locals killed in the quake have been recovered, but their dead livestock under the stones and timber was starting to decompose. The violent shaking that flattened whole villages has inflicted a toll that rose on Monday to over 2,800 dead and almost as many injured.
L'hôpital, il vient d'être installé sur haute instruction royale de Sa Majesté le Roi, que Dieu l'assiste, chef suprême et chef d'état-major général des forces armées royales. Donc l'hôpital a été déployé il y a 48 heures. On a commencé le travail aujourd'hui. Il a commencé à fonctionner aujourd'hui ce matin. Et on est déjà à plus de 300 patients.
Comment ça se passe?
C'est un hôpital médico-chirurgical qui comprend plusieurs médico-chirurgical avec plusieurs spécialités. Donc des spécialités surtout chirurgicales, la traumato-orthopédie, la gynéco-obstétrique, la chirurgie viscérale, l'ORL, l'ophtalmo et la chirurgie maxillofaciale. Donc puisqu'on dispose d'un bloc chirurgical, bien sûr, on évalue la gravité. Donc les patients graves, on les envoie vers...
Now joining us to discuss natural disasters across Africa is climate expert Richard Abubakar Umar, and he's also the founder of Youth Voyage, joining us on this. Good afternoon, Richard, and thank you for joining us at this time.
Yeah, good afternoon, and thank you for having me.
All right, so given the recent devastating floods in Libya and the earthquake in Morocco, could you elaborate on the role of climate change in the increasing frequency and intensity of such natural disasters in North Africa?
Yeah, of course. These are the feelers, or will I say the givebacks of the climate crisis we've been talking about. Because from what has just happened in Morocco with 6.8 magnitude of the earthquake, it tells you that what we've been advocating for about climate change is here. And the people, the vulnerable communities are the ones left to suffer the impact of all this climate crisis. And these disasters occur without proper early warning signs, because by the statistics given by World Meteorological Organization, WMO, it shows that 40% of Africans have access to early warning signals before disaster occurs, which is even below average. So that tells you that we have a lot of more work to do in terms of providing early warnings. And because climate change or climate disasters or climate crisis occur unannounced, and we expect that the statutory institutions should provide early warnings to the communities where these disasters are going to occur, so that they could take precautionary measures in order to save more lives. But when such early warnings don't come up, then definitely we will find ourselves in all of this. And definitely climate change is the root cause of most of these disasters.
All right, now, Richard, Nigeria is currently grappling with the fear of the Lagdo Dam opening, which could lead to widespread destruction. How does climate change contribute to the unpredictability and potential hazards associated with dam management in the region?
Yeah, actually, first and foremost, the issue of the Lagdo dams, the Cameroonians don't inform Nigeria. They inform Nigeria after they've already started releasing their waters, and we will start experiencing rise in our water levels down here. But the major issue here is this are annual occurrences, and all statutory institutions like NEMA and Nigeria Meteorological Organization, that's NIMET, always provide early warning signals, because early warning signals are key when it comes to climate crisis or when it comes to flood. And all these issues are interconnected, because when you get the early warning signs, it makes you start preparing ahead in order to put all the necessary readiness measures in place. But when you don't have the early warning sign, it catches you maybe in the middle of planning or while you are before planning. So if proper communications within the chain of communications are given from the statutory institutions through other channels of communication down to the people who are the most vulnerable, they will be able to prepare ahead, because at times the flood comes early. And again, our flood management system needs to be enhanced, because I am aware some of the states in Nigeria or in the north central Nigeria have trained some of their staffs in terms of flood management system. But having the apparatus in managing flood is another thing entirely. There are a lot of strategies, there are a lot of technologies in flood management. How prepared are our states? How prepared are our local governments in the area of flood management? It's easier said than done, but we have been having these occurrences for over 50 years.
All right,
and most communities, because my organization carried out,
sorry for interrupting
is working
you.
on a documentary currently, and we went to communities submerged. We were on canoes in submerged
now,
farms.
if you could actually tell us,
the
we remember that over the past 3 weeks, there have been repeated cases of boats capsizing in various parts of Africa. And, you know, in Nigeria alone, we actually recorded quite a few, and most recently in Adamawa and also Nasarawa states. Now, could you tell us, how does climate change impact maritime safety and the likelihood of such incidents occurring more frequently?
Yeah, well, it's a pathetic situation, because just 2 days ago, we just have another mishap in Mokwa local government in Niger State. That's the recent one that I have knowledge of. And these occurrences happen year in, year out. The most important thing, I believe, is that what I feel is that we need more advocacy in these communities. We need to inform them more on maritime safety. We need to carry out more awareness on maritime safety, go to these communities, teach them how to use safety jackets, teach them how to what to do in terms of emergencies, and how not to overload their boats. Because truth be told, most of these communities use canoes and this Yamaha engine that powers the canoe to move faster. Some of them don't have the updated boats in their communities. They still use the wooden canoes. So what are state governments doing? What is the Maritime Authority doing in collaboration with states and local governments to see that most of these communities even take advantage of their inland waterways in terms of water transportation? How can they build an economy around that? These are things that they can do to help, because most of these mishaps happen as a result of maybe most times overloaded canoes with goods and services. Maybe they are moving from one market across the river to the other, then you discover that the canoe is overloaded. So how do we address this circumstance? How do we take advantage of this circumstance? Can we solve this problem and also provide revenue for it? So these are areas that I believe that if the communities are properly carried along in this, especially the informal sector, bringing them on board and synergizing with them and teaching them the rudiments of maritime safety, they will be able to even give government something out of their local internally generated revenue, which is something that that's part of the blue economy that we've been advocating.
All right, thank you so much, Richard Abubakar Umar, for your time. Richard Abubakar Umar is a climate expert and also founder Youth Voyage. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much.